Hello and welcome to Ginger Prime. My name is Brian, and for returning subscribers, welcome back Soul Nation. You truly are legend, and thus you've unlocked the title of Grandmaster for just watching this video. Today we're diving into the Trickster, going over the skill trees that the community has gathered together and basically breaking down the information for us. Now all this is subject to change as always, as this game is yet to release, but look forward to February 25th for the demo. Be sure to go hands-on, and the link to this document is in the description of this video. Go check it out. Obviously share your love with the community over on Reddit as well. So thanks for being here. Let's dive in and talk about the potential builds for the skill trees. Now, I've seen some comments, just as kind of a quick aside, talking about how they wish these skill trees offered a little bit more in terms of like actual like skills and things like that, as opposed to these passives. And just note that as a part of how Outriders is built, it's really coming down to the loot, the gear, your weapons, and your mods. That's where you're probably going to want to focus. Obviously, we don't have a list of the weapons and the different mods completely yet, but when we get that information, we'll be sure to share it with you guys here. So if you feel like it, subscribe. I'd love it. If you did, you can always unsubscribe later, no pressure. But that being said, note that this is just to enhance your builds, because you can always respec these skill trees at any time. There's no penalty to it. So anyway, I just wanted to get that out there, just what I'm seeing in some of the comments, and I wanted to address it in case you had that concern based off of the different skills here themselves and shared that thought. So for the Trickster, you have three tiers. You have the Master of Space, the Harbinger, and the Assassin. So the top tier, the middle tier, and the bottom tier. Just like our other videos, we're going to go top tier, middle tier, and bottom tier first. But to kind of highlight what the Trickster is, Trickster's melee skill is going to inflict a slow to all enemies hit with it. You have both a single target and an AoE kind of melee for the Trickster. Your healing mechanic is that at very close range, kills will actually heal you for 20% of your maximum health, and you're going to get a 12% shield with that as well. Really kick-ass cool right there. Then you also can receive an additional 5% health, and you can activate active shields grants 5% damage mitigation. So let's go ahead and continue on our quest here on top tier. So your first skill is Arms Trick. Increase your weapon damage at close range by 15%. Obviously playing around with the healing and shielding there. You can then choose between probably Bullet Storm, obviously probably in parentheses being this is still being worked out, obviously rough drafts of the skills and what people have been able to decipher here. Decrease the time it takes to reload your weapon by 20%. And the Ace of Triumphs, increase your armor piercing by 10%. So if you're a constant reloader like me, I know it's a bad habit. I'm working on breaking it. Note that that weapon reload probably is going to save your butt. Then you can go to Death, probably increase your probability. I'm dyslexic and suck at reading. Thanks for being here, by the way. Increase your weapon damage by 8%. Up top, you can go Shotgun Master, increasing shotgun damage by 20%, and it says shotgun will drop 12% more often. Previous videos, I was saying, like, maybe is that ammo for the shotgun? Others have actually stated that it looks like it's more focused on that you'll get a chance that shotguns will drop as a part of the weapon. So if you like shotguns and you want to see shotguns drop more often, that looks like that's going to be what you're going to want to focus in on. Now, when you see these silver gray lines here, you can see that connects you to different tiers. Just because you start top tier tree doesn't mean you can't go a different direction in this case. And down the list, you have Arms Trick, increases your weapon's damage at close range by 15 in this case. Connecting to Leaps of Quietus, activating movement skill increases your armor penetration by 25% for 10 seconds. Connected then to Cycle of Life and Death, which is going to gain an additional 3% health for every enemy that died at close range. So obviously increasing your healing recovery ability, and that connects to our mid tier there. Continuing down our skill tree itself, you've got Equilibrium, decrease your movement skill cooldown by 15%, and Deadly Shadow, increase your critical damage by 20%. Really awesome decisions being made at that moment. Then again, another Arms Trick, increasing your damage at close range by 15%. So that can kind of stack up and get a little bit insane there for you. Disruptive Firepower, activating this disruption skill, increases your weapon damage by 20% for 8 seconds. You can see the skills currently being affected and assumed at this point. This connecting a silver line to Outrider Executioner. When your movement skill ends, increase weapon damage by 20% for 3 seconds. Connected to an armor piercing boost with kind of an unknown name and percentage at the moment. Going further down the list here, we've got Singularity. This is going to increase your disruption skill cooldowns by 15%, or Ace of Triumphs. It looks like you have your armor piercing increased by 10% in that case. Then you've got Unforeseen End. When attacking enemies from behind, your weapon damage is increased by 20%, and this connects to Scion of Power. When your damage skill ends, increase your weapon damage by 20% for 8 seconds. Then another choice in this case, Death Probability, increase your weapon damage by 8%. I got it right that time. I almost messed up if you didn't hear it in the voice itself. Followed the other option again, Arms Trick, which is essentially that increasing damage range by close range damage by 15%. Then you have another Death Probability, 8% overall weapon damage increase, and Equilibrium, decrease your movement skill cooldown by 15%, which connects to Transfusion over here. A transfusion increasing your weapon leech by 5%. This seems oddly low for a major talent point, which is outlined in gold. So who knows? Obviously, some of this might change on the long run. And then you also have Unforeseen End. When attacking enemies from behind, your weapon damage is increased by 20%. Connected to Bounty Hunter, increase your weapon damage against elites by 15%. And then you have Oddity Summation, increase your magazine size by 50%. So again, us bad, always reloading reloaders here. Increase magazine size, reduce reload speed. That could be a deadly combo to save our butts. Then you have a choice, Assault Adept, increase your assault weapon damage by 12%, or Shotgun Adept, increase your shotgun damage by 12%. And the final skill, Cold Calculation. For each enemy at close range, your weapon damage is increased by 8%, and it will stack up to 10 times. So some big damage numbers there. So that's our top tier tree, the Master of Space. Let's talk about, I believe it's the Harbinger here. Anomaly Persistence. Increase your health by 10%. Immunity, increase your resistances by 15%. Probably a dual shield in this case. Increase your damage mitigation while your shield is active by an additional 5%. This connects to another anomaly persistence of a health increase of 10%. This connects down on the bottom towards against the odds. When surrounded by enemies, reload your weapon, deals damage, and interrupts enemy abilities. The damage scales with the anomaly power, and they notate WTF. And increase resistance piercing, taking you down to the bottom tier if desired. And then a skill that this icon, Devastator Restoration, in this case, and if you guys have seen the Devastator video, note that it's just kind of a general healing over time ability, which if you look at this middle tier with health increases, it could make sense that you could have a little bit of a tanky build here on Harbinger. Then it looks like you have shield times increment. Increase shield gain by 10%, decrease your shield degradation speed by 30%, and some status duration or damage is currently as a placeholder right there. Then you have Anomaly Persistence, another health increase by 10%. Connecting downward to Withering Cycling, this class melee ability applies a weakness to all enemies hit, and that connects to a shield buff before tapping into the bottom tier tree. This connects also again to a choice between immunity, which is a resistance increase of 15%, and another Shield's Timeline, decrease your shield's degradation speed by 30%. Excuse me. Then you have Singularity, increase your disruption of skill cooldowns by 15%. You can see the affected skills listed there. Mitigation and Motion, when your damage skill ends, increase your damage mitigation by 5% for 10 seconds. And you see the affected skills listed. This then connects again to an Armory Cloak, increase your armory by 20%, or Shield's Increment, and increase your shield gain by 10%. And then this connects to a Shield Timeline, which is that shield degradation speed by 30%. This is another Anomaly Persistence, which is health, and then you can also go to long odds, not losing odds. For each enemy in close range, your armor is increased by 15%, and this stacks up to 10 times. So top tier, damage, middle tier, definitely tank build in this case. Profit squared, every ammo pickup heals you for 5% of your maximum health. That seems pretty kick-ass. Then you have Shield's Timeline or Increment. This is going to gain your your shield increase of 10% and degradation by 30. Anomaly Cloak, increase your armor by 20%. And finally, your Disruption Shield. Every activation of Disruption will grant you a 20% shield. So very heavily on the tank build for the mid-tier. Finally, our bottom tier, looking at the name, Assassin. Make sure I have it. I don't have it memorized yet. You have your Concentration. This is going to increase your anomaly power by 6%. This connects to a choice between Transfusion, that would be weapon leech by 5%, and your Disturbance Coating, increase resistance piercing by 15%. Then you have Concentration, another anomaly power of 6%. This connects downward to Assault Master, increases AR damage by 7% for each unlocked concentration node, this one. AR drop 12% more often. In this case, we're going to go off of the chance that an AR will drop for you rather than ammo itself. Concentration, increase your anomaly power by 6, and then you have increase your damage skill cooldown by 15% with an unknown name at this time. Then you have another concentration connected to Leap of the Clincher. I just like the name of that. Makes me think of clenching your butt. Activating your movement skill, increase resistance penetration by 25%. Oh, sorry, just the name of it. And then now your resistance of penetration. Sorry, I know that's just such a freaking bad joke. I'll see you later. Sorry, the unsubscribe button is right there for you. Entropy, weakness applied, enemies last 30% longer, and immunity, another resistance of 15% increase. Another concentration of anomaly power connected to combat shield timeline. Activating your movement skill increases your anomaly power by 20% for 10 seconds. Another option between transfusion and concentration, so weapon leech of 5 or anomaly power by 6. Followed by another concentration of 6, and continuum, killed marked enemy increases healing by 15%, question mark, question mark, question mark. So obviously that is still under debate. Then you got another transfusion or assault master down here, another assault weapon increase of 20% and a drop rate of 12% more often. Scion of the Void, when your damage skill ends, increase your armor and resistance penetration by 25% for 10 seconds. Following Counter Shield, this is going to activate movement skill, increases your armor penetration by 25% for 10 seconds. Then a weapon damage increase, question mark, name, etc. Or a shield's timeline, increasing your shield gain and decreasing your degradation speed by 30. And then finally, your last skill, and the whole case of it is Altered Executioner. For each enemy in close range, your anomaly power is increased by 10%, stacks 10 times. So you have your damage, you have your resistance, and you have your anomaly, all driving these 3 trees forward. Hopefully this information has been fun, helpfully to give you some insight as to how this builds. Again, this also is married with the concept of your weapons, your armor, and your modifiers to your build. So you can always respect these skills at any time. So making choices on the fly should be fairly interesting, and interesting to see what builds you can come up with. As all this changes, we'll be sure to keep you informed here at Ginger Prime. My name is Brian. Thank you so much for being here. You amazing individuals. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave it a like and subscribe if you're new here and you don't mind that horrible joke earlier. It does mean a lot to me. It might not mean so much to you. YouTube does a fine job at getting these videos out to people, and especially the stats show it. So only 7% of you have subscribed, and if you guys are part of the 93 that haven't, and you can let me know what would, get you to hit that button, just let me know. I'd love to have you here as a part of that. It really helps the channel out and more. Anyway, I don't want to make this excessively long. Thanks for being here. You are awesome. I love you very much, and I hope to see you in my next video. But until then, take care. This video is sponsored by me, Ginger Prime. Hopefully you'll check out my podcast channel, Ginger Gaming Radio, which we have lots of guests, lots of great conversations, and even more highlights. Links are in the description below. Let me know what you think. Thanks.